Welcome everyone. In this video, I'll be covering the log section of the 12-factor app. The gist of it is treat logs as event streams. Logs provide visibility into the behavior of a running app. In server-based environments, they're commonly returned to a file on disk. But this is only an output format. Logs are the stream of aggregated time-ordered events collected from output streams of all running processes and backing services. Logs in their raw form are typically a text format with one event per line. So sometimes back traces from exceptions, looks like a stack trace will dump multiple lines sometimes per event. But in most cases, logs in the raw form typically have one event per line. And if there is an exception, obviously it will dump the stack trace to the log file. Logs have no fixed beginning or end, but flow continuously as long as the app is operating. A 12-factor app never concerns itself with routing or storage of its output stream. That's the most important part of this whole thing. So basically, a 12-factor app never concerns itself with routing or storage of its output stream. It should not attempt to write to or manage log files. Instead, each running process writes its event stream unbuffered to standard out. So a 12-factor app never concerns itself with routing output stream. So it shouldn't be saving the output. A 12-factor app should not be saving its output in a log file, or should not be saying that, hey, I want to route all my output stream to so and so location. Instead, each running process writes its event stream unbuffered to standard out. So basically, a 12-factor app will just write, which will write its event stream to standard out. During local development, the developer will view this stream in the foreground of their terminal. So when you start, let's say, a Node.js app locally, you will be able to see the output stream in the terminal itself, on the local computer, on a local dev environment. In staging of production deploys, each process stream will be captured by the execution environment, collated together with all other streams from the app, and routed to one or more final destinations for viewing and long-term archival. So in a staging or production environment, the developer cannot monitor what is happening all the time. So what happens is the execution environment can be configured to capture the output stream from the app and route it to a final destination. So these archival destinations are not visible to or configurable by the app itself. The app doesn't have any say in how where the archival destination is or how to configure it. Instead, it's completely managed by the execution environment. So there are open source log routers such as Logplex and Fluent. There are two examples of log routers. So you can use log routers like Logplex and Fluent to route it to wherever you would want. The event stream for an app can be routed to a file or watched via real-time tail in a terminal. So the event stream of an app can be routed to a file. The app itself cannot route it to a file. But when you start running it, you can say that, hey, I want to redirect all my standard out, whatever is being dumped to my standard out, to a file. Or if you don't want to do that in the production environment, if you want to go and check what's happening, you can SSH into a terminal and then tail the log. Tail the standard out, sorry. Most significantly, the stream can be sent to a log indexing and analysis system such as Splunk, or general purpose data warehousing system such as Hadoop or Hive. Other ways of directing this output stream, I think typically it's sent to a log indexing and analysis system like Splunk, or data warehousing tools like Hadoop, Hive. These systems allow for great power and flexibility for introspecting an app's behavior over time. So these systems like Hadoop, Hive, and Splunk, and there are so many Logstash and other log indexing and analysis tools. Once you send the output stream to these tools, they provide us a way to introspect what is really happening. Let's say you want to find out how many events are happening, say, per minute. So you can track trends. You can track specific events in the past. If you want to say, hey, what happened? I want to know what happened at that specific, at a specific time. You can see what happened during that time period or for a specific time. You can also look at how many errors are happening, what is the health of your system. You can monitor the health of your system by looking at how many errors are in the log file, and maybe setting up an alert and taking proactive steps to recycle the server so that the users won't be affected. At a high level, that's what logs is about. So to summarize, treat logs as event streams in a two-factor app. The app itself never stores the events, neither does it have code that will say that, hey, route it to so-and-so place. The routing and storage are handled by the execution environment itself. The 12-factor app only, the events are only dumped to standard out. That's all it does. And after that, the execution environment takes over. And there are a lot of ways of routing. Now, a couple of open source tools are Fluent and Logplex for routing. The event stream for an app can also be routed to a log file. So you can configure in the runtime, in the execution environment, you can configure the execution environment to send it to a file, or you can tail by logging into a terminal. You can tail the standard out to see what's going on. Not only that, the standard practice nowadays is to send the output stream to log indexing and analysis tools like Splunk, or data warehousing tools like Hive and Hadoop. When you send it to them, you have, you can introspect the app by looking at, let's say you want to find out what you want to find out more information about a specific event. You can go generate reports for that specific event, or you can do trending analysis, saying if you want to find out how many events are happening over a time period, you can check that. You can also check the health of the application by setting up alerts for, let's say, errors thrown. At a high level, that's the summary of it. The main point again here is a 12-factor app should not have anything that will store the events or tell the app to route events to some place. So a 12-factor app should not be storing, should not be directing. Anyway, so to summarize, a 12-factor app never concerns itself with routing or storage of its output. It should be done by the execution environment. That's all I have for the log section. I'm going to stop this video right now. And in the next section, we'll go through admin processes.